Hey guys, it's Alex with the Artifact Company in Jackson Galleries coming to you, and got a couple interesting pieces in here for you to look at today. Sent in from a gentleman from Missouri. We have a conical socket copper dart, which I've already unwrapped because I wanted to make sure it got here in one piece. So these pieces are typically old copper culture, and old copper culture existed in Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota and whatnot several thousand years ago, into kind of early to mid-archaic, generally speaking. So we'll go over kind of what to look for on these copper pieces. There's a big issue with folks making reproduction copper conicals and other copper artifacts out of things like roof flashing and using various aging techniques that the Chinese use to get that kind of greenish patina. Alright, so the second piece is what's called an Aterian Tang point from Morocco. And this is another Paleolithic point. If you recall, we did the Acheulean hand axes a couple of weeks ago. This is Middle Paleolithic, meaning it's a little bit younger than the Acheulean. Most Aterian stuff dates to certainly out of Morocco between 150,000 and 120,000 years ago. And these were true humans. This was the first Homo sapiens known toolkit, tool forms that were point tradition that was started in Africa. And it's basically the first pointy rock on a stick. Okay, so the first potential new either projectile point or lance point or something similar to that. And there are scraper forms of this. There are, obviously this has resemblance to drill forms that we have in here in the eastern United States, paddle drills and things like that. And your first thought would be, oh, well, that's just a broken paddle drill. But I'm going to show you on the microscope here in just a minute why that's not the case. All right, let's go to the microscope. Okay, guys, we're at the microscope here. We're going to be looking at this conical copper point. So one of the things that we like to look for on copper, because this is a natural copper, is typically not believed to have been smelted prehistorically by the old copper culture. Basically, they would take advantage of glacial drift and float copper and some other, natural sources that were all over the place in Upper Peninsula of Michigan and Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota, where they could get copper and beat it into sheets and then roll it into these points. They made different twist top knives and other sorts of artifacts. But because they're using it from a natural source, there's going to be these things. See these little tight lines, these fissures? These are natural formations from the copper being from a natural source. Okay, so this green patina that we see on the surface, these various types of copper disease or copper corrosion or various decay products from the copper. This adhesion here is also a very good sign. What I would not want to see is, see how this lighter material has almost a, it's green, but it's not really, it doesn't have a lot of blue in it. If this had a lot of blue in it, like a copper sulfate or copper nitrate type of coloration, I would be concerned, because there are solutions and ways to accelerate copper aging that leave a blue residue in the corrosion. If you've ever collected ancient bronze coins, you'll know about bronze disease. There's a similar color situation going on there. But the Chinese have been faking their own stuff for 3,000 years. I've got a book on the shelf that goes into detail about it. And when they would fake their bronze statues, like even 500 or 1,000 years ago, one of the things that they would use would be urine to artificially age copper and bronze artifacts, or replicas rather. But this piece looks perfectly okay. I don't see anything out of the ordinary with it. It even has what's potentially, it even still has some of the original stem shaft possibly remaining down in here. It's a lot heavier than normal for one of these conicals. So this one will be getting a COA. Now, here is the Aterian point, and what we're going to be looking for on this piece is, one, desert varnish, and we're going to be looking for the tripolitic wind weathering. Because this is from Morocco, we're going to be looking for desertic type weathering on the surface of this piece, and we're also going to be looking for, obviously, any more recent damage to the surface. Okay, now we can see what Bill likes to call mini pitting all over the surface of this piece. It kind of looks like a bad orange peel paint job on a car, but what it is the differential weathering of the surface and the various types of crystals within the flint itself coming out at different rates. So you get this pitted, pockmarked look to the surface. And we do have one more recent chip right there, probably from being mishandled by whoever found it or collected it. And we have this brownish tan accumulation of desert varnish on the surface, which is adding quite a bit to the gloss that we see on the surface. And this is an old break. So we have a piece that's in practically as found condition. Classic example for the type. I'll throw up some pictures of some other examples on the screen here shortly. But this piece will also be getting a COA. Alright, that's all I've got for you today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hang around for some more videos. Thanks.